These are difficult days in the land of Israel, with the renewed fighting taking place now in the Gaza Strip. All of us here are feeling additional pressure and additional tenseness in the country. The scriptures say in Psalm 122, verse 6, to pray for the peace of Jerusalem, may they prosper who love you. And it really is a time to pray for the leaders of Israel in Jerusalem. Our government leaders have to make some very difficult and terribly important decisions in the next few days about whether to pursue the attacks in Gaza, to go in on the ground and to commit our ground forces. This will be a very important decision that will affect the lives of many people and will most certainly cost the lives of Palestinian people as well as Israeli soldiers. It's time to pray for the wisdom of our leaders. The Bible also asks us to pray that those who are given positions of authority by the Lord will use those positions rightly, and that they will make righteous and just and wise decisions. Pray for the leaders of Israel, the political leaders and the military leaders. Here in Israel, the people are feeling a sense of vulnerability. We have enemies in the south, in Gaza. We have enemies in the north, in southern Lebanon, in Hezbollah. We know that the countries around us, countries like Syria, countries like Egypt, are not friendly to us and are looking for opportunities to exploit any weakness that we might show. 2.5 years ago, we fought a war in southern Lebanon that really was an inconclusive war. In the last 1.5 years, we've heard threats spoken out against us by the president of Iran. And all of this adds up to quite a feeling of insecurity and uncertainty among the Israeli people. You can imagine how people here feel, because it was only 70 years ago that another world leader was rising up in Europe, a man named Adolf Hitler, who was telling the world that all the troubles of his nation, in fact, all the troubles of the world, could be blamed on the Jewish people, and that it would be his responsibility, if he became the head of his nation, to eliminate the Jewish people. And at the time, this was in the 1930s, of course, no one really wanted to take Hitler seriously. The world went through tremendous lengths to appease him and to try to give him what he wanted. People said, he can't mean what he's saying. He can't actually be planning mass murder. But when he did become Chancellor of Germany and his Nazi party took over and began to dominate the political scene there, he did, in fact, instigate what he called the final solution, which was ultimately the mass murder of all the Jews that he could get his hands on. The ultimate plan, of course, was to kill every Jew in the world. 6 million Jews, including 1.5 million children, died in the Holocaust. Only 70 years ago. Some of the survivors of the Holocaust, who were young children then, are still living today, some even with the concentration camp tattoos on their arms. It was a historic event that marked an entire generation and is still remembered very clearly today. So you can imagine how insecure people feel when voices are raised today around the world calling for the elimination of the state of Israel and blaming the world's problems on the Jews. I'd like to read you from Psalm 83, just the first 4 verses, so you can see that this problem, this issue of blaming the people of Israel and wanting to eliminate them is not something that has originated in modern times, but it is something that has been with this nation ever since its beginnings. Let me read to you these first 4 verses. Psalm 83, verses 1 through 4. O God, do not remain quiet, and do not be silent, O God, and do not be still. For behold, your enemies make an uproar, and those who hate you have exalted themselves. They make shrewd plans against your people and conspire together against your treasured ones. They have said, come, let us wipe them out as a nation, that the name of Israel may be remembered no more. And then the psalmist goes on to name the peoples and the nations that are saying these things. Remember, this was hundreds of years before the time of the Messiah. And if we modernize those names, again, we have all the countries that today surround the nation of Israel. So this desire to eliminate Israel is not something new. It's something that is ancient, something that really has a spiritual power to it. The Bible says that we believers, we don't wrestle with flesh and blood. We're not called to an earthly warfare. But our struggle is against powers and principalities and wickedness in heavenly places. The weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but they are mighty for the pulling down of strongholds. And so in prayer, we must stand firm against these cries to eliminate the nation of Israel. We must stand with God's purposes to defend this nation, and we must ask God to give the leaders of Israel wisdom to defend this nation using the force of arms with justice and with righteousness and with wisdom. Pray with us for the peace of Jerusalem. Pray that the Prince of Peace will rule in the hearts of the Palestinian people, and that God will grant them great revival, that they will cry out to the God who is their creator for salvation. Pray for revival among the Jewish people of Israel, because through him, through the Prince of Peace, we may see peace in the Middle East. He's the only way, and he is our only hope.